This is the LowcoSports Lowdown podcast. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett and Wes Kerr.
Hey, LowcoSports fans, welcome to another edition of the LowcoSports Lowdown. I'm Justin Jarrett, by a sleazy-looking Wes Kerr. You just let a good rip for it. The allergies are getting to Wes, so forgive him if he sneezes during the show tonight. But we got some good stuff for you coming up. We'll talk all kinds of sports here in the South Carolina Lowcountry, including some softball commitments. We got a couple headed to the next level. Checking on some local volleyball teams that are doing well. Preview a big golf event that is coming to Moss Creek. Our good friend Rosie Jones over there putting on a cool event for the high school kids, the high school girls. That's going to be great. We'll talk about that a little bit. Update you on the high school football rankings and talk to one of the coaches whose team is in the top 5. We got Rob Hanna jumping on from Hampton County. Gonna have some fun with those dog memes that he made for his players the other day, and maybe learn about some nicknames that we don't know about because that team seems to have a bunch of them. And then we got a really fun segment. Royana Hayes, who is the mom, the famous mom from last year that we saw that had the half Battery Creek, half Whale Branch shirt because she's got sons on both teams, Dayon and Danye Brown. So she's going to jump on with us and talk a little bit about that, although I think only one of them is healthy to play this week, which is a mower. But nonetheless, she'll be there, and we'll play a little excerpt from my interview with Coach Hatcher that I teased on Instagram last night, and see what she thinks of my performance, and then talk a little more week 5 and give our athletes of the week. So should be a fun show. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. I'm excited for this weekend. We have a fantastic slate of high school football games. My goodness, Bluffton is going to be an absolute madhouse because we got Buford heading over there and Buford Academy playing HHCA. So we got a lot going on over in Bluffton. I'm excited. I cannot wait. It is going to be rocking over in the cage, especially with how Hilton and Christian Academy is playing a huge win on the road over Northwood. Now they come back home and they should be riled up. Those fans will be ready to go against a still unbeaten Buford Academy team. So cannot wait to see that one in person. But I'm doing well. It's starting to feel like fall. We had a really nice bike ride today. Just absolutely beautiful as we get towards October. Pretty crazy that we're almost to. It seems like 2023 just started, and now we're weeks away from October.
Brother.
So it absolutely flies, doesn't it? Goodness.
Warp speed. We've been in warp speed for 3.5 years now. It's just been insane. Yeah, it's crazy. But the weather's been great. Yeah, it's very nice. Picked a heck of a week to be going down to Florida to play baseball, didn't we?
Oh yeah.
Missing a bunch of good games, but the weather's going to be nice, and we get to go. See the boys go up against some really strong competition down there and see how they fare. And whatever happens. Give it your best, and learn from it and come back at it next time. So looking forward to that. That's always fun, and we're playing down at the Boombuck Complex, which is supposed to be really.
It's a heck of a year for you and Truman. You had the Cooperstown experience over the summer.
That was fun, yeah.
That was one weekend or 1 week you'll never forget over there in New York.
So cool.
So many memories made with your son and that entire team, and now you get to experience another fun baseball trip, and it's just really cool to see. And you talked about it. We talked about in passing, not on the air, but just about how these players have grown, not even over the entire year, but just from the summer to the fall. And
absolutely. Well, yeah, because you're starting to see kids. Some of the kids, go through puberty a little earlier, and then some are lagging behind. And when they do, it's just like, whoa, where'd that come from? You're a different dude now. So yeah, it's a fun age. It's a frustrating age because there's a lot of transition and a lot of adjustments that need to be made. So it's kind of a make or break time, but that's rewarding too, to see them get over the hurdles and things like that. So we'll see some good pitching down there, I'm sure, which will be great. Get challenged and see how you handle it and see where you need to get better. So gonna be good stuff. But yeah, a great week of high school football. So I don't know. I'm bummed that I'm not going to be at a game, but at the same time, I get to just post up at the hotel and run command center and be texting people and looking at social media and all that stuff. So I feel like I'll have a better handle on what's going on. So should be kind of fun from that perspective. That's kind of the dream long range, is for me to like sit at the
Kind
command
of like
center
studio stuff.
and have my pilots out there flying, but it's hard for me to swallow too the idea of not being on the sidelines. I love
Right.
being down
There's
there,
something
and
special about it.
I'll probably always be down there in some
Yeah.
fashion or another. But
I think that there's always something to say about the special atmosphere that takes place on Friday nights under the lights in the Lowco. I mean, there's really nothing like it. It's fantastic.
no, I
There's
mean, as
nothing
long
just
as I
like
can
it.
remember, since I was a kid, Friday night was
Yeah.
my favorite night. To go to the football game and line up there when they ran out of the tunnel, and like it's just always been, as long as I can remember, my favorite thing. And I can't get enough of it. It's good stuff, but might have to find a game in Florida or something. Not really, but we do have a new friend from Charleston who's going to help us maybe cover some games up there when we have teams playing up there. So that should be great. We're always looking to grow Team Lowco. We got lots of friends out there who are going to games and stuff. So might as well keep us in the loop so we can pass along the news. But we do have a few headlines to get to, Wes. You mentioned it in text earlier, and I put it on WHHI yesterday. I think the days all run together. Kylie Rast and Brooke Crosby, a couple of softball stars from Beaufort, going to the next level. Brooke Crosby plays at Battery Creek, and Kylie, of course, the star pitcher from Beaufort High. They both played together for the Bad Cats under Bob Lehman, who's the coach at Battery Creek, longtime Thomas Hayward coach. Crosby going to Newberry. She's an infielder, plays short for the Dolphins, but probably projects as a third baseman. That's where she plays in travel. Pretty good stick. And then Kylie, really good arm, obviously, and she can swing it too. She's going to North Greenville. So a couple D2 signings, or not signings, but commitments. And typically, especially with softball, it seems like they commit early and they stick to it most of the time. So I think
Baseball
these
and
are pretty set in
softball,
stone.
there's a lot more of earlier commitments in other sports, but
Yeah.
I mean, still, it's nice to have that out of the way. Maybe a lot less pressure once you're committed, and you can just focus on refining your game and having fun out there, because your high school experience only lasts so long, and it's nice to know that you have that college decision locked up, and you can have fun the rest of your career and continue to grow. But congratulations to these two. I've had a couple of great talks with Kylie and her
Yeah, she's
dad over
awesome.
the years, and just a great kid, amazingly hard worker. And I got to see her in person last year. Oh boy. I mean, not just her dominance. I don't know if she pitched that game, but she did hit at the plate. And oh
Yeah,
my
I think
God.
Adeline pitched that game, if I
Yeah,
recall
Adeline
correctly.
pitched, but she hit two
But she hit
tanks.
a home run. Yeah, she hit a
Yeah.
couple homers.
I mean, just her swing, her mechanics, just impeccable. And then you look at how
Yeah.
she continues to grow in the circle as a pitcher. So she brings a lot to the table, and certainly will find her home over there at the next level at North Greenville. So congratulations to Kylie Rask, and then as well Brooke Crosby going to Newberry. So that's a great honor. Haven't been able to see her as much playing for Creek, but as you mentioned, a terrific shortstop, middle of the infield, who can also rove around to the third base side if she needs to. But a nice utility player who also has got a nice swing. So I think she's got an excellent career ahead of her at Newberry, and got to feel so proud and happy for Robert Lehman, and contributing to all these fine young ladies who have really dedicated themselves to becoming the best softball players they can be. And this is what you work for. You get the opportunity to play at the next level, and it's got to feel good for both of them. And just for a guy who's overseen those two players throughout their development, it's got to be a great feeling for Robert Lehman to see that coming to fruition. So congratulations to both of these two. I wish you could have seen Brooke a little bit more, but hopefully be able to follow her.
Still got another season.
Right.
Still got another season to see her.
Yep.
I did get to see her a little bit. I saw her play against Bluffton over here, and she got a couple knocks. She had she can swing it. She had a rough summer, I think, swinging it, but she hit like over 500 in regular season last year in high school. She can definitely hit. So she'll be solid at the Division II level. I think that'll be a good fit for her, and they'll get to see each other, I'm sure. Newberry and North Greenville, they should cross paths a time or two, so that'll be fun. That'll be good times. They'll get to face each other again at the next level. But no, of course, it's interesting, like you said, with the baseball and softball, they commit a little earlier because they're like their next season of travel ball is too late. It's, after their senior season. So this is the time. And so they get all set up. And but then volleyball wise, I wanted to shout out, I know you went to that May River Hilton Head game. Great game for the Sharks. JP2 still looking good. Bridges Prep is like 16-2-1 or something. I don't know who they played, but if you're winning that many of the games, you're doing something right. But that May River team looks pretty good, right?
Yeah, I was impressed with what I saw. It seemed like a kind of change of the guard. Hilton Head was far and away these last few years the dominant team, but it kind of flipped. And it was a 3-set sweep. It was an absolute battle, especially those first and second sets. Hilton Head threw a lot at them. Both teams were excellent in their serve receive, making a couple of really nice digs in some tough locations. So, we saw a lot of skill from both sides, but just the way May River handled some of the adversity, some things not going their way, and just played dominant volleyball for most of that match. And they've got some excellent players who I'll get to later on here, but this is a team that has grown a lot of upperclassmen, a lot of senior leadership that's really starting to get it and step up for this group. So they're well coached, and this team really starting to believe in each other, work well with each other. Olivia Skonstra, the libero, does an excellent job making a couple of really tough receives the other night, and kind of helps out in the hitting game as well. So kind of doing a little bit of everything. And then Jocelyn Roper, absolutely outstanding as an outside hitter. I mean, just racking up the kills, and her hitting percentage going through the roof. Then you have some role players. Bryn Holland, a middle hitter as a senior, who did a lot of different things. A nice utility player. So this team's deep. And then there are also some other players that have stepped up in various roles. So I'm really impressed with what I've seen from May River. They're looking like the best team in this region. Obviously, Lucy Beckham and James Island getting the better of the Sharks. Although those were both close matches. So I think the Shark team, from what I've seen, to be able to handle and stay in a couple of really tough environments and tough matches against great teams. I mean, this is a squad that if they can get hot at the right time in the postseason, you never know how far it could take them.
Yeah, and I think they were playing Bluffton tonight. I don't know if we'll have a score for that yet, but they were playing Bluffton tonight, and they were tied in the region standing. So that was going to be interesting to see, because Bluffton's pretty solid too. So it's good to see both of them on the upswing right now. But we do have a guest. We'll get to a couple more headlines later on in the show, but we do have a guest waiting. And so let's give a quick update that two teams still ranked in the top 10 in their respective classifications. Number 5, Whale Branch in Class 1A. Number 5, Wade Hampton. I do it every time. Oakland Raiders disease. Hampton County Hurricanes are number 5 in Class 2A, and we've got their coach, Coach Hanna, in the green room. So we're going to get him in here as our first guest tonight. What's going on, Coach?
Hey, guys. How y'all doing?
Wearing that nice powder blue. I love this new color scheme.
We had a big
looks better on you than the red. You're better in blue than red.
You like it? Yeah, blue's always been one of my favorite colors, so I'm glad the school.
Yeah, mine too. I dig blue. Yeah, blue's a good color. But no, man, I got to come out to your place the other night, and you guys looked awfully good again against Hilton Head. The defense is, I mean, you've told me time and again, best 11 on D. That's what you guys are going to roll out there. And that best 11's looking pretty dang good right now, especially after you got Lowco. I love the nickname. Malachi Green back out there last week, and he had like 14 or 15 tackles. That's a nice guy to get back. So, talk to us just a little bit about that mentality that those guys are bringing on D. They take it personally. They're not letting anybody get in the end zone.
Yeah, well, they take on the personality of their defense coordinator, Coach Paul. He does a good job of obviously preparing week in and week out. I feel like him and I are a great fit. We match each other's intensity and work ethic, and we work well together. And he's done a good job preparing those guys. And I've told you lots of times, I want the best 11 on the field at all times. But if you can't stop anyone, it's hard to win come playoff time. So we Coach Paul's doing a good job putting a couple different packages together that get some of our better athletes in space if it's a passing team, and some of our bigger, stronger guys, in the defensive front if it's a more run heavy team. And we mixed that up last week. We used all 3 packages, and we challenged them before the game. That was the best opponent we saw. BJ does a great job preparing his team, and last year as Wade Hampton, they did a real good job, stymieing us on offense, and we kept it close a while, but we ran out of bodies last year, kind of like they did last week. I knew they were banged up going into the game, and we were too, but we just were able to get on them early and let the defense go. When you get a lead, you can pin your ears back and go get that quarterback, and they did a great job doing that last week.
Coach, congratulations on this fantastic start they're having here at Hampton County. First year with this program, transferring over from Wade Hampton and Estill becoming one. How fun has this start been? Taking over this kind of program with, of course, some high expectations coming in, but just describe the energy and the excitement that's continuing to build here through the first half of the season.
Yeah, it's been exciting, and it's been great to be a part of. When we started this process back in January with the football program, not just the community, but a lot of the players kind of thought, oh, we're going to win a state championship, and it's a win or bust. And we've done a good job as a staff and a group talking each week about staying humble and staying hungry, not getting complacent each week. And we've been fortunate. We've played well all 5 weeks, but it just seems like each week we're getting a little bit better. And that happens with a lot of new guys, with Estill guys joining, the offense that I ran the last few years. I'm very lucky that Coach Livingston changed his offense up a little bit last year at Estill, and it was very similar to what we do. And so that's helped. And, they're just some great football players. They've been able to step in and Xavier Garvin, the way he's learned and his learning curve has been super quick, and he's done a phenomenal job. And, now we finally got him healthy last week. He, missed the first game, got banged up the second game at quarterback, and he played through it, but limited fashion where we kind of didn't really have to have him on offense. And being able to throw him into the mix last week, you can see what he does. And we got playmakers all over the offense, and we know we've got a group in that room that if we stay healthy and stay hungry, that we think we'll be in the mix come November. And, we got a big test tomorrow night up there in Columbia. We just finished playing JV against Bamberg, and of course, a couple coaches saying, "Man, I wish we were playing them tomorrow night." But I've always been a believer that in non-region you want to play good teams because it's prepares you for playing teams like that in playoffs. Yeah. So I've always in my first year I walked into a schedule that had 3 4A teams in May River, Bluffton, and Hilton Head, and we were able to go through that gauntlet with Colleton, and that year made me believe that you got to have teams like that in non-region. You never know. We're lucky we play in a tough region that prepares us too, with Woodland and Barnwell are every year phenomenal. And I'll tell you, this year Ridgeland and Edisto got something going. So
yeah. I was going to say, Ridgeland's got some juice.
They do.
Ridgeland's got some guys who can really play ball. And Livingston and Singleton have turned things around quick at Edisto. They look like they're going to be a problem too. So that region's going to be tough, man. It's going to be really tough. But you mentioned the intensity of Coach Paul. I think I've got the video queued up here. Oh, let me turn up the volume.
Where my dogs at? Where my dogs at? Brother, all 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
That guy's pretty intense. He's pretty intense.
I've wondered for 3 years now as a head coach. I've always wondered what he says in the huddle down there. Now I know.
There you go. There you go. Now you know.
Yeah.
Now you know. But that also harkens back to what you said after the game, which is get up in the morning, look in the mirror, and say, "What do you tell them?
I'm a dog.
I'm a dog."
Yeah, Coach Paul and I for 3 years, we've always asked our kids, when you got this morning, look in the mirror, what'd you say? And they know what to say. So I thought I'd have a little fun last week after we beat C.A. Johnson, and always trying to motivate these kids. And so I decided to get with Coach Paul, and we talked about this and put this together last Thursday night. And we have a PowerPoint every day the kids come in the weight room, there's something going on the TV, and they came in Friday for game day.
The puppy
during
Jordan
class.
Bovain kills
Oh yeah, the
me.
little pup.
Ooh,
So, Kayvon, yeah.
The big dog Kayvon, yeah.
Goodman would rather be playing basketball.
No, he's turned into a football player. He's a student of the game. He's done well.
Lofty's has some bite.
Lofty's is a dog. Desmond's, he's a pit bull for sure. No
I tried, not with all
Emerson,
of them.
trusty
Really
old lab, showing his teeth,
Yeah.
trying to look tough.
Yeah, he's a dog.
Yeah, he's trusty too. Malachi, he's loco, all right.
He is. He's an athlete. He's been a good asset to the
Angel
team.
Sanders. Oh my.
Mickey.
Yeah.
That dude is special.
Mickey is a dog. We're expecting big things from him. He's this year and through next year, and be able to watch him on Saturday.
I love that one. Rafe with the soccer ball. That one's a good one. Zion he's carrying the ball. He's carrying the ball as usual.
Carries the mail.
Jazz. I love Jazz. What a nice kid.
Jazz is a great kid.
Yeah.
Okay, special teams player for us. He's in on every special team.
That's a good one. I don't know how you have time to look up all these dog photos and match them up, but you did a pretty good job here. There's there's some good ones coming later.
There are. There's some of my favorite ones coming.
The linemen are great. They're great. TJ's is good.
T-Rob. T-Rob's always got his pants sagging. I tell him he looks like a slob, so I had to find a dog that looked a little sloppy for him. Carl's another one of our freshmen, so he's a pup. There's our kicker and our O-lineman, Barco.
That's a good one. Deloach is a dog.
He is. He's out right now.
That's a good one.
Big E, he's the anchor of our line. He's out.
You couldn't find one with the busted paw for him? TJ's is great.
Yeah, I know.
That's good. That's a good one. That's a good looking.
Oh, I love the hurricane walk. That is a great
hurricane walk.
Tradition we've had for years now in Hampton, and it was always the Red Devil walk. And I talked to the players, and
that's my favorite one.
Want to continue the tradition and turn it into the hurricane walk, and they said absolutely.
Yeah, it's great. It's got remember the Titans vibes.
That dog,
Big Dan,
just like Big Dan.
Now, what's the story here? Does he got too much hair in his eyes or something?
No, he doesn't. But DC's a kid that doesn't have a worry in the world. He's just carefree, plays free and silly, and that dog fit him perfectly.
Coach, we talked about the defense, but tell me more about what is, struck you most about how well the offense is playing. Of course, Zion Dobson looking like one of the best running backs in the state of South Carolina right now. He's over 800, closing at 1,000 rushing yards already, almost halfway through the year. But, Chris Terry has really shown some good things at quarterback alongside, bringing Xavier Garvin in. So you mentioned the display of riches and the playmakers, and there's a bunch of guys who haven't mentioned that could, really deserve some consideration as well. But with Dobson being one of absolute best backs in South Carolina right now, leading the way in the backfield with the quarterback. I mean, you guys have had a lot of different ways to beat some defenses here, and it's exciting. Just describe the potential of what you can see with this offense going forward.
So I've always had a philosophy when you're a 2A football team the last few years, and we've had 30 to 40 guys on the team, but really only played with about 16 to 18 guys. All those guys playing 2As. You got to find ways to shorten the game and shorten the game. And the last 2 years, Zion as a sophomore, we had Risher as quarterback, and we were probably a 90% run team that year. And I knew that because the offense is based around a running quarterback. And we were able to, Jamian was the All-State and Shrine Bowl North-South player that year, and Zion was a good mix-up back and learned a lot. And he's been a dog in the weight room. He doesn't miss a workout, doesn't miss a protein shake, and his goal is to go play at the next level, and he'll get to do that this year with what's going on. But last year we leaned on him heavy just because we were an undersized O-line, and this year, he's been a track kid for me he's ran since 7th grade, and it's finally paying off with the speed, and that's what's great is this year he's really been able to show not just the vision but the patience to hit the hole and then shift to that top gear and run away from defenses, which is great on his highlight film, to where he's now getting some notice, because that's been the knock is if you're not a running back running 4.4s 4.5s, we don't want you. And he's been a 4.5 guy but hasn't been able to show that breakaway speed, and this year he's he's done it 8 or 9 times for big plays, and but still has the power to lower the shoulder and run someone over. So, but we feel that we got an offense that, if you game plan to stop Zion, we got 6'3" receivers outside that Terry can throw it up to, and Terry's the smartest football player I've ever coached. I mean, he knows he could line up at any position and know every single person's job, offense and defense. So, that's fun to coach. And we got some slot receivers. Jordan Mulvane, I know, has been special since 7th grade, and I've had him in track and one of the fastest kids in our school as a middle schooler. And to add him to the mix with Lofties and Garvin and Des Mathis, I mean, it's just a plethora of playmakers that we can get the ball to. And that's the thing, is every week it's been a different person that's been able to step up. And first week, I know Zion got the touchdown. The next week, Mathis scored one. And every week it's been someone different. So it's fun. It's fun. And we feel like, I'll tell you what's been the key is the line, though, the understanding of the game. We got 2 seniors at right and left tackle that know everything to do and help make the calls. And even when Big D Mathis went down, TJ stepped in at center, and he's starting to learn to make the calls and identifying fronts. And Hilton Head did a good job last week, first couple drives, of giving us a new look, and we adapted to it and just kept plugging away, and we're able to hit some big plays and put the game away late. So.
Yeah, I thought you saw the benefit of just having the 2 quarterback option last week, because it looked like, Hilton Head did some things that had Chris a little bit rattled early, and he was kind of his rhythm was just a little off, and I told him at one point, just like, hey, breathe, man, you're okay. Like you could just tell he was kind of he was amped up a little bit, and I just thought it benefited you to be able to just let him breathe for a minute and send Xavier in there for a series and let him mix it up a little bit. And he definitely brings some different things to the table. But I just love the camaraderie on your sideline, the way that the community has rallied around. And, we got Miss Mathis on here. She traded in all her green. She had all that green and yellow. She's all decked out in blue now. It's been really cool to see that. And I'm sure the success aids in that. If you guys were 0-5 right now, it might not be the same, but I saw you're like the mayor before and after the game, man. You're shaking hands and kissing babies. You're like a politician out there, which is how it goes when it's going good. So, just bask in it a little bit about how much fun you're having right now with this group.
Yeah. So when I got the boys in January together, we've been 2 communities that have been rivals for the longest time. And but all the kids know each other, and Hampton's an old community that doesn't like to see change and is tied to their roots. And I don't want to say doesn't want to see the other people progress, but they're stuck in their ways. And I met with the team in January when we had that class, and I said, outside these 4 walls, the entire state expects us to fight and this to fail, and no one outside these 4 walls is going to know what we're going to go through to come together to be one team. And the 40, 50 guys we got has done a great job of just embracing each other. And like I said, from day one, they've known each other and they've loved on each other. And we've just been able to support each other. And we've had some hard times. It hasn't all been rainbows and butterflies. We've had some tough times and some tough learning moments, players and coaches. But we've been able to work through those, and most importantly, learn from them. And the opportunity we have with the merge of the district to be the first team to help bring these communities together, I feel like these young men are doing a phenomenal job. And my coaching staff, I mean, I can't thank them enough for what they do, and our admin team, and they support everything we do and give us what we need. And it's fun. And like you said, it would probably be different if we were 0-5, but being able to start 5-0, I tell these kids every day, the best thing about being 5-0 is we get a chance to go 6-0 next week. And have fun doing it. But these kids work hard. It's not like they just show up after school at 4:00 and practice for 2 hours and go home. They're in the weight room for an hour and a half before that, lifting, doing mobility workouts, doing speed workouts. They're doing tests. They're required to watch film. So we're sending them playlist all the time on the different runs, the different passes, different defensive formations. And these kids are putting in the time. They're studying. In my 3 years as a head coach and 15 years of being an assistant coach, I've never seen a team watch film like this group. And so like, that's a testament to what they're doing. And it's showing. I tell them all the time, information is dangerous in a fight. The more you know about your opponent, the better chance you have at winning. And these kids have really taken that and ran with it. And we just hope we continue to build and, build the force and get stronger and stronger. And I've always told the kids, it's about making memories and the brotherhoods. Football's going to be gone eventually. And these relationships we'll have for the rest of our lives. I had a player tonight at the JV game that graduated 3 years ago and, came up, gave me a big hug after the game, and he's in town. He's a military kid, and just that's what it's about. The relationships you make through the game. And, we're getting ready to have homecoming in a couple of weeks, and we're going to have Hampton and Estill homecoming together. And it's what that alumni is going to do, seeing people they probably haven't seen in 5, 10, 15 years and be able to pick up and have a conversation about the teams they used to play on. And that's really what it's about. And these kids are having a blast doing it.
Yeah, that's gonna be a special moment coming up. First homecoming for Hampton County, to see those two schools merge together and just bringing these two communities reunited, and to have them both be a part of this together. It's really special. And both Estill and Wade Hampton folks have really embraced, and you've done a terrific job leading the way as well as the terrific young men, this football team. But we've talked about some of the stars and the standouts, but we know everybody on this team, they got that dog in them. And one of the young men who really had that dog in them and got recognized today, Zedekiah Raymond, on special teams with the South Carolina Football Coaches Association Player of the Week for 2A lower state special teams. So that's quite an honor, and certainly deserving after a strong performance on Friday. So, just tell me what he's brought to the table this year. And
Zedekiah was a starting middle linebacker at Estill last year, and a super athletic kid, super fast, and loves the team, very selfless. And I'll tell you, the start of the year, he was a starting linebacker, and there was a little incident where someone got a chance to get reps in front of him in practice, and they kind of won the job. And, there's two things he could have did. He could have shut down. And I have a saying that life is 10% what happens to you, 90% how you respond to it. How are you going to respond to this situation to become a better man and grow from it and be ready for when your opportunity comes? And, Zedekiah embraced the special teams role and backup linebacker role, and was okay getting his 10 plays at linebacker a game and being every special team. And I think it was if it wasn't week 0, it was week 1. He won our team special teams player of the week. And then obviously last week, he's always in on tackles. And last week, not only did he start the game with that blocked punt and touchdown, but the linebacker that replaced him was out sick, and he got a chance to start last week and played a great game, and he's going to start again this week. So him just staying prepared and working hard and not giving up, he's gotten his second opportunity and he's taken advantage of it. And that's what sports are about. Life is like that. You're gonna get knocked down, and how you're going to respond to it, how you're going to pick yourself back up, how you're going to carry on and make it a positive outcome. And he's done that. He's great on the team, and I'm glad for him. He's a senior, one of our leaders, and couldn't be more proud of him.
Yeah, that was a huge play, man. Like you said earlier, just getting on him early, setting the tone, that was huge. And that play definitely did it. You guys got the quick 3 and out, blocked the punt, and put it in the end zone. So
our defense,
massive play.
When we can pin our ears back and go get you, our defense is fun.
Dude, if you guys get up a touchdown or two, it's trouble for the other side. So, well, hey man, I know it's past your bedtime and it's game day tomorrow, so we'll let you get out of here. We'll shout out some sponsors and get on to our next guest. But we appreciate you, man.
Appreciate everything you guys do for the LowcoSports.
Yes, sir. Good luck tomorrow up in Columbia.
Take care, and hope we can get you out one more time this year. Get you some Rigdon fried chicken.
Oh. I'm coming back for Rigdon's regardless of whether there's a football game or not.
Sounds good. See you guys. All right.
See you, bud. Great stuff. All right, let's shout out some sponsors real quick, and then we'll get to our next guest, assuming she hasn't fallen asleep in the green room and given up on us. I think she's still in there. Our MVP sponsors for this season thus far are my wife, Megan Jarrett, the official realtor of LowcoSports. She's an agent with the Pierce Group of eXp Realty, and she's ready to help you find your place in the Lowco, whether it's a starter home, a forever home, or an investment property. She can help you get set up and find a spot to make the Lowco home if you don't already, or upgrade your real estate here. And to make sure you're making a good investment, we'll call on our MVP sponsor, Homegrown Home Inspections. my guy Jan Lucas and Homegrown Home Inspections, the official home inspectors of LowcoSports. They're going to go top to bottom on that thing, make sure that you're making a good purchase that is going to be a good investment in your future here in the Lowco. And when it's time to close the deal, we'll call on Mickelson Law Firm, the official real estate closing attorneys of LowcoSports. And our good friends, our original sponsors, still with us 6.5 years later. Call on Ryan and Tiffany and their team at Mickelson Law Firm for all your legal needs. And finally, Hospice Care of the Lowcountry. We told you before, they're throwing a big party, Harmonious Under the Stars out at Harbortown on October 12th. They're going to have a live jazz concert, hors d'oeuvres. Ain't no party like a hospice party because James Dismond is throwing it. And he's the guy who has built a terrific, wonderful, caring staff at Hospice Care of the Lowcountry, only not-for-profit hospice in Southern Beaufort County. And they're going to raise some money out of Harmonious to make sure nobody has to come out of pocket for those important services. Because at Hospice Care of the Lowcountry, it's not about dying, it's about living. And now finally, we get to our guest who's been waiting patiently. I hope she got enough snacks and drinks. It's BYO Snacks and Drinks. Miss Yana, how you doing?
Hi.
Thanks for staying up late with us. Do you have your special shirt on under that, or is it?
Listen,
I guess you got it cleaned up for tomorrow, right?
It's funny that today that I had this interview and the shirt that I do have up on under here. But yeah, I'm cooking something up for tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I've seen some Facebook posts. I've already seen it on Facebook. The shirt you got dreamed up for this year, but so tell us, Donye is at Battery Creek and Dayon is at Whale Branch. I don't know how you managed to get children at two different schools, but whatever's best for your kids, right? So tell me what it's like to I mean, first of all, you can't be two places on Friday night. So this is the only week of the year that it works out for you.
Yeah, I mean, even though, don't get me wrong, I love all the kids because, I mean, they pretty much went to middle school together. They played against each other, AAU. So a lot of these kids around Beaufort County, and I'm not even from here. I'm from Savannah. So, we've been here for a while and, we've adapted and it's, it was just a homeschool as Battery Creek because my daughter went there. So, I had somebody already graduate through, Battery Creek before Donye went there. But, I kind of peeped out because one child was into football more than the other. So I kind of sent him where he could, I feel advance to, get a little notice or, actually learn a little more than Little League. So that's where I sent him. Worked it out.
Awesome. Well, we always talk about how big rivalries are here in the local, but it means just the extra bit more for you and your sons, going up against each other on a Friday night. And you're in the middle of it. We talked about what you wore last year with the two jerseys in one, and now it is, time again for this Battery Creek Whale Branch rivalry. How are you feeling as you head into tomorrow?
Well, as I gotta walk. I know I can't sit down. So I mean, I'm gonna have to go from side to side, but at the end of the day, I get asked that question every year. Like, what side you gonna sit on? What side either way, I still all these my boys. So, I can't, everybody already know, don't say nothing to me because y'all know I'm a cheer for both sides. So, they kind of respect it because they know I love all of them.
I mean, what are you supposed to do? Like, that's how I feel, though, Miss Yana. Like, I love them all too. Like when our teams are playing each other, I'm not rooting for or against anybody. I'm rooting for the game and the story, and like I want highlights. I want good plays. I want both teams to succeed,
I want to see a good game.
Have an exciting game.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely want to see a good game.
Exciting game.
Now you only got one actually playing tomorrow, though, right?
Right.
Dayon's out.
Dayon's
is out.
Donye's out. He can't play until next week. His physical therapist won't release him until next week. So, he definitely was upset about not getting the opportunity to play with his brother for the last time, in high school. So, that was bittersweet. But basketball season is always up in the air, That's what we getting strong for, because that's really what he loves to do. So, he's good at both. Don't get me wrong. but
Oh yeah.
basketball is his passion.
Basketball is going to be fun as well. Whale Branch,
Oh
of
yeah,
course, getting Jeremiah Faber coming back, so that's going to be a
yes,
great
yes.
rivalry on the court as well. Getting ready for this winter. It's coming up before you know it. We'll be talking Loco hoops, so Loco Hoops Report fans get ready because we're going to have that
Oh yeah,
cranking up.
it's gonna be a huge one. Y'all gonna definitely have to be in the building for that one.
Yeah, but
Dude, it gets
Be there
live. They'll
everywhere.
both have the bands going. It'll be like packed to the
yes,
rafters. It'll be live with that.
Oh yeah,
but
that's how they're gonna pack it out Friday. They're gonna pack it out tomorrow. It's
Oh
gonna
yeah.
be a must see, because I think Battery Creek, they step up more when they play against them because of the history,
Oh yeah.
behind the rivalry, and like I said, I'm being not from here. I know what a rival is, so, for me to have a child going to both schools and, and I'm well adapted to both of the schools, like it's bittersweet, so somebody got to go home with a sad face, so.
Yeah.
both would have the senior year bragging rights for sure. It means a
Oh
lot
yeah,
more than you would expect to have
of
that
course, of
those
course.
memories. You want to be on
I
the
want to
winning
know what the next day's like. That's what I want to know. Like, are they just
It
added?
was
Is
quiet.
it
Just know
just
that
relentless?
it was quiet, like, and see, Donnie's the humble one, so he's not a nag, he's not a bragger, he's,
He didn't rub it in his face. No.
it didn't go that way. So, it's
If
like I
it's the
said,
other way, it could be ugly if it's
oh,
the other way.
he's
Okay.
me. He's me. Just imagine me in a boy body. That's that's
That's Dayon.
like
That's
we
Dayon.
are
Well, like
like, yeah,
you said you're always walking, you're always talking the whole time too, you know?
oh, I'm gonna do that. They know I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna yell at the coach. I'm gonna yell at the ref. I'm like, what y'all do? Like, y'all gotta get it right. But it's so funny because the kids respond and they look to the sideline like I'm a coach. So like they feed off the energy that I give when I come out there. Like, because at the end of the day, it's still supposed to be fun. Like, y'all gotta have fun with each other. Y'all gotta talk to each other. Like, so. That's why I love the brotherhood when it comes down to both teams. Like, they really embrace each other. Like, they really, show love and genuine love with each other, and the way they, they bond and go to each other games and, stuff like that. So this team is definitely, both teams, they both have a connection, but somebody got to lose.
That's right. Somebody gotta lose. You're not gonna
Somebody
make
gotta
a
lose.
pick on
Unfortunately,
that. You're not gonna make a
the
public
way
pick,
it
are you?
works.
You're gonna go on record with your pick?
Look, catch me at the game.
There you go. Well, I'll be in Florida, but
All
I'll
right,
definitely be
we'll leave it
keeping
at that.
tabs. So
Oh, definitely.
But
should be good times.
Oh yeah, definitely a memory.
Miss Yana, obviously, only one of your two sons are playing, but just to describe your thoughts heading into this moment tomorrow night. Senior year, the last hurrah for these two. On the football field with their respective schools against each other. What does that mean to you? And you describe the relationship with these kids over the years and how it culminates with what you will see, tomorrow night with especially. I mentioned one of them playing, but both of them still being a part of it.
Right. Well, it's definitely a once in a lifetime feeling. Like, every parent doesn't get to experience, being on both sides of the ball. So, for me, it's definitely. I always want my boys to do what they know what to do, and that's go out there and be dogs. Like, that, it's in them, So I can't, and I tell them, even like, if they mess up, like, they know they got to hear it from me first. So anything everybody else say is gonna be irrelevant because they gonna get it in the car, and that's the first thing my son will say. Like, okay, mama, you can wait till tomorrow. Nah, you gonna get it tonight. That's what you doing. Like, you gotta have consistency, So I always tell them, you want to play against the greatest to be the greatest. So, hey, like, you gotta rock out, and no matter whatever you touch. So that's why Danye's so loyal to Battery Creek, because trust me, they done try to get them on the other side.
Well, I had a little fun last night. I've been playing with my Hatcher impersonation, so I got to get your review of it before I roll the whole thing out tomorrow
I gotta
on
see
Game
that
Day
one.
Live. But here's a little bit of it. I pretended to interview Hatcher.
I've been really thrilled with the interactions we've had with Daryl. I think he's really brought a new edge to the
Why is that so
team.
quiet?
KJ, obviously a veteran who's been through it for years.
Can y'all hear it?
Now. Across multiple sports,
Can't hear it.
Barely.
Working with Casser Middleton, he's a guy who.
It's too quiet.
Obviously a veteran who's been through it for years now. Across multiple sports, he's going to go about his.
You should have stood up. You should have stood up and talked with your stomach.
Do a live impersonation or something.
Well, I was asking this question. Well, I can do it live if you want me to. I can just do it live.
There it goes right there.
In the playoffs, who are the teams that
No, I'm telling you, listen, I love Hatcher.
Here we go.
Well, just like I told you over at the deal over at the furniture place over on the highway over there. It's if you look at our region, it's tough now. It's tough every week, but we gotta get through them all. But it's at the end there, it's gonna come down to us and Bamberger Earhart. They're saying
that's Eric always say that.
And at the standings and going, it's gonna be Whale Branch. And it's going to be Bamberger Earhart and Whale Branch. And that's just usually how it goes, It's Whale Branch and Bamberger Earhart. And one of us is going to go on and be the region champ. And we're going to get to play another home game and maybe see if we can't make a long run and get past that dang third round, and see if we can't get to that state championship game.
So you approve?
I approve.
All right, I'll adjust the volume and we'll play it tomorrow on Game Day Live then, since you approve.
Oh yeah,
but I've been working on that thing for a minute.
That was good.
when we had him on here live after the game, and he said, "I got told you over at the furniture store over there," I just died. I just about died. And the hat.
Talking about media day.
Yeah, media day. He said at the deal over at the furniture store. That's what he called it. Oh, he's a mess. He's a whole mess, ain't he?
I love him. You gotta love him, man.
You gotta appreciate him. Well, hey, Miss Yana, we appreciate you hopping on, and we appreciate all the hard work that's gone into raising two really awesome young men who are doing big things. So enjoy your moment tomorrow night, and I guess I kind of hope maybe for your sake Creek wins, so it's quiet at your house on Saturday. Nah, you want the chaos. You want the chaos. Bring the smoke.
I love
Bring the smoke. All right. You be well. Right. Get some rest. You got a big day tomorrow. All right.
Good night.
Take care now. That was great fun. I really enjoyed that. Glad we could set that up. She's a blast. Always have a good time when I get to see her at the games. But let's shout out our varsity sponsors real quick, Wes. DDS Web Design, your official web designer, official SEO experts of LowcoSports. Dave and Denise will set you up with a website that'll work for you to make sure that people can find you online, and so you can do more business and do more with your business or organization. So give them a shot at ddshhi.com. And then we've got the Parker Law Group. Our friends out there have been serving folks with their legal needs across Hampton, Colleton, and Jasper counties for years, and they've jumped on board as a varsity sponsor to help us continue to expand our coverage into those areas. And of course, tonight we had Coach Hanna, who's doing big things out there in Hampton County. I said Hatchet County because I was looking at my face over there pretending to be Hatcher like a clown. Gosh, I asked some of the Whale Branch boys, I said, is this funny or stupid or both? And they said, definitely both. And I said, good enough. That's kind of what I was going for. But they all agreed it was pretty spot on, and some even said that's exactly what he said to us at practice today. So I think I must have nailed it pretty good. But no, that was a good time with Miss Yana. Let's just talk a little bit more about this week. Obviously, Whale Branch Creek we talked about in good detail. I think Whale Branch should be able to win that game, but again, I mean, you throw the records out and everything. I just see. that offense is pretty tough to stop, and the defense is
I
exceptional.
just don't see Creek being able to consistently stop that Whale Branch run game that has been,
Yeah.
so strong this year. And it's been a great work from the offensive line and Daryl Cummings being an absolute beast on the ground. And don't sleep on Keith Chisholm, his ability to manage the game, make plays. They'll run a lot more than they don't throw up very much, but just the clinical job that they've shown on the ground game is going to be hard for a Battery Creek team that is certainly they made some good strides this year, but just the depth isn't there to have that consistently strong defense performance. So we'll see if they can get quick turnover and make some noise early. You never know what can happen, but I could definitely see Whale Branch, getting up early and making this one out of reach. But there is a possibility that this Battery Creek side, if they can get those stops in the first few drives, they could kind of hang around and make this one a bit of a game. But I do think Whale Branch will find a way to pull away and win this one, especially with how well that defense is playing. We've talked a lot about Alonzo Allen. He has been spectacular, and Bradford Thompson, the beast that he is on the line. So it's not just them. They've got a ton of supporting pieces who have all done their job so well. And Jarrett Haster would, if he's on, he would talk about all these other guys who are making some big time contributions because with the their signature voice and again, just a great model of what makes him such a special coach. And that's why we love high school football around here. All the different personalities and all contributing to the amazing story that we get to see unfold every week.
I mean, the characters are the best part, right? I mean, gosh, it's that's what makes it fun is the characters we get introduced to and get to see how they interact with one another. I mean, BJ Payne, we got a dang pro wrestler, literal pro wrestler in our midst. Like, how fun is that? We just got some great characters. I mean, Hannah, the Canadian guy who came down here to play golf and became a football coach and didn't leave. I mean, it's just, you can't make it up. You can't make up this collection of characters. You couldn't make up Hatcher in your whole lifetime. But, I think Buford Bluffton's interesting too. I want to say Buford's the better team, but I don't really know that. I mean, their defense looks pretty good. I think they're equipped to not really miss tackles and not let Bluffton get big plays out of nothing and things like that Bluffton feasts on. But more importantly, I just don't know if Bluffton can slow down Jaden Andrews the way he's
that might be the X
right now. And if they try to, then I think Samari will just flip it out to the edges and let those guys work. So yeah, it'll be interesting though, because Bluffton can score some points and Buford hasn't been putting up a ton. So I think tone and pace early will kind of determine how that kind of goes.
Defense is a lot more disciplined, a lot more experienced to try to win
more physical. They're just a more physical team too, and I think that makes a difference. Typically the more physical football team tends to win, and I'm not saying Bluffton's not a physical team, but they're a little more on the finesse side of the the ledger, whereas Buford is very much physical smash mouth type of football team. So I think they'll wear them down and be able to win late, which is what they've been doing lately.
Yep.
I mean, they've been in fights the last 3 weeks, all 5 weeks, really. Yeah. Every game going to the fourth quarter, it's been, up for grabs.
And I think it prepares them well for what we're going to see next week in Phillip Simmons to have, go through all these scraps one by one, and just learn a lot from the mettle that you've shown in a couple of these games that could have gone either way. And I think they're really starting to find their identity throughout this non-conference schedule. It's similar to last year, but it's different at the same time. And I think they're starting to really gel as a unit, especially defensively with Will Cotting doing his thing over there, and a couple of others who have really stepped up on the line. Certainly some guys last year who were standouts are missed, but they're finding some new playmakers over there. So I really like what Buford's doing, but Phillip Simmons, that is a team that is a surprise, and that is not going to be an easy game at all for the
That's
Buford.
not a surprise to me. I thought I was a year ahead on Phillip Simmons. I thought they were going to be really good last year, and they were close, and now they are really good. And it was the stupidest reason why I thought that. But I stopped at the Hardee's nearby there on the way home from a baseball tournament, and I got a burger and fries, and I was talking to the kid working in there, and he looked like a dude. And I said, "Where you play ball?" And he said, "Yeah. I just had my workout today." He said he ate like 4 of those double cheeseburgers a day. And I'm like, for protein. And I'm like, "Where do you play ball at?" And he said, "Philip Simmons." I said, "Oh, the Iron Horses. You guys going to be good this year?" And he goes, "Oh, yeah, we're going to be good." And I took his word for it. And they were pretty good last year, but they're real good this year.
Yeah.
So always trust the dude working at Hardee's if he looks like a dude.
Challenging one on the road there for Buford, but never can count that Bryce Labbert coach team. But the one I'm going to, I cannot wait to head over to the cage. Hilton Head Christian Academy, Buford Academy. Both teams have, Hilton Head Christian's really hitting their stride after a fantastic road win. A game that I thought would be a little closer, but man, give credit to that HHGA defense that continues to play lights out. And then Dylan Clark stepping up, and someone who I wanted to show some love for that we didn't talk about, but AJ Hawk had a tremendous game. One of 100 yards, had 10 receptions for one over 100. I'll tell you that. But
yeah, I've got it right here somewhere. 10 for 152 and a touchdown.
That is quite a busy game.
That's a day. They also mixed McCollum in there, and he threw a touchdown pass, which is interesting. He's a tall drink of water.
Guy.
I like the look of him a lot. Yeah. And so the idea of them having packages for him is really interesting to me. And how about Tevapaw? I want to shout out Tucker Tevapaw.
Oh, yeah.
7 tackles, 4 solo, tackle for loss, 3 for 42.3 average punt, long of 55, 2 inside the 20. That's a weapon.
That is everything is feasible. You don't have somebody normally that is that talented in the special teams game. That is a difference maker.
Good stuff.
When you're able to pin your play.
I did have a couple other headlines that I wanted to get to that we didn't get to earlier, most notably this golf tournament that's coming up, because it's going to be cool. Rosie Jones, who is of LPGA fame, sorry, I'm trying to read this thing. They are having a big tournament out at Moss Creek. It is the Women's South Carolina Golf Association and the Junior Golf Foundation are teaming up for it. 2023 High School Girls Invitational and Mentoring Weekend, hosted by Rosie Jones. It's going to be September 30th and October 1st. 72 players, 15 teams, and 12 individuals. They're going to play 36 holes on the Devil's Elbow South. Bridget Wilkie, among the highest-ranked players in the field from Hilton Head Prep, as well as Ainsley Bryson from Seneca High School. They're the defending 3A state champs. And May River will be in there. So we've got some local flavor as well with May River, Hilton Head playing in it, and not the whole prep team, but just Bridget Wilkie, as well as Anna Lepore from Bluffton. So going to be some really cool competition. And the part that's really neat, you got to go out to Congaree and see that thing. There's a little bit of that in this because the mantra for it is play with purpose. And so they're going to have a pro exhibition and a mentoring dinner where they're going to have some pros, former and maybe even current pros, to interact with the girls and have some mentoring opportunities. So just a super cool thing that, Rosie lives in Moss Creek and she's gotten really involved in girls golf locally. And there's such a great, we talked with Kristen Hunton a while back, such a great group of women who are involved in trying to further the game for girls in the area. And we see the result of that in the number of girls who are having success and going on to play at the next level.
Yeah, it's great to see development in girls golf. And with these high school programs, May River has become powerhouse in 4A, Hilton Head Prep, the same in Skeeza. But, you just look at these up-and-coming stars that are starting to really, not just play all locally, but finish high in big summer tournaments. And that has a lot to do with the coaching that's around here, the opportunities that they get to play golf on the island, in the Lowco. And, these girls have really risen the challenge. And it's just awesome to see, these professionals who just have that initiative to help the young generation, this next crop of talent on the golf course, really refine their skills and just take it a step further and learn from the best, to just inspire them to push even harder to achieve their goals, and then that rubs off not just on this generation, but down the road. When you see these group of girls succeeding, it's just going to help the sport get even better in the coming years and decades ahead. So, love what this older generation of women who are so dedicated to help these young girls continue to improve on the golf course and just become amazing young women and great citizens for whatever they do in the future. But it's all about here in the Lowco, we're coming together and rising the tide, and this is the perfect example of the last generation helping the next one and bridging the gap. And this is a cool opportunity you don't get to see very often in terms of high school golf. We got a lot of you play a lot of tournaments, but not very often do you get an opportunity to work directly with professional women's golfers and learn from the best like this while you're competing against each other. So what an awesome opportunity for these young ladies, and certainly they'll savor it and take a lot out of it moving forward in their careers. So hopefully we'll get some more info on that and maybe have a guest or two on next week to talk about it.
Yeah, no question. We'll have to try to get Rosie in here, and maybe Bridget Wilkie's having a great season, man. She's shooting some scorching numbers right now. She's been impressive. But Wes, we are running out of time, so let's get to our athletes of the week. I think you maybe had some volleyball players.
Yeah, I'm going to go there and pick out one of these volleyball players because a really impressive team performance, but the one who stood out the last 2 times I was there, number 24, Jocelyn Roper, absolute beast at the net as an outside hitter. She was laying down those kills left and right. It has a lot to do with the setters and how they deliver the balls there, but she is finishing with authority almost every time, and you've got to have that player on the receiving end who can finish off those points, and they've really gotten out of Roper. She actually landed the final blow to finish off the match against the Seahawks, but really consistent player with a sky-high hitting percentage. Such a big part of what makes this team tick, and so many of these players have been integral parts. But Jocelyn Roper has been quite a standout so far for the Shark team. That's competing against the best and playing very well in this region. And they've got an outside shot to make things interesting and go deep in November.
Yeah, I was gonna see if we had a score from that match tonight yet on the Max Preps, but we do not, alas. But for another day, Bluffton May River match is going to be interesting. I'm going to go to the football field for my my athlete of the week, because his team's having a rough season, so we're not going to talk about him a whole lot. But they had a good showing last week. Hilton Head Prep lost 42-31 against First Baptist, and I just want to make sure AJ Barger gets a little shine, because my man was 20 rushes for 203 yards and 3 touchdowns, 4 receptions for 70 yards and a touchdown, 8 tackles, 3 pass breakups, and an interception. And if you do the math, that means he scored almost all the points and did a good bit of the defense. So
yes.
Heck of a showing from Barger, who that dude plays so hard, even when it's hopeless. And you gotta give it to him. You gotta take your hat off to him, because he doesn't have any quit in him. He's only got 1 gear, and
that's full throttle. And there's something to be said about playing for the team that is looking for that first win in over a whole season, and that's tough, especially as a veteran leader. You just gotta keep bringing it and inspiring that that next group, that younger group, to keep pushing. And he has done a tremendous job, and just what a great example that he is for these kids who are scrapping and clawing. They are working. Obviously, it's tough when the results aren't coming on the field, but they are continuing to battle. And what was just a great display from AJ Barger of just that compete level going throughout all 48 minutes of a ball game, and to see him put up numbers like that and really go all out to help this team to get to that goal they've been looking for. And just an incredible ambassador for this program. Danny Fernandez is another one who certainly gets a lot of love. He's an awesome guy, hard worker in the weight room, on the field. So many of these guys who have just embraced the challenge and have just continued to put the foot on the gas in terms of preparation, preparedness, and leaving it all out there. So gotta give credit to these leaders we just love to see them get one before the season comes to an end.
You'd love to. And, they got PD this week, and PD's struggling. They're really struggling. Like, it's not a foregone conclusion, but that is a tough place to play. They get pretty rowdy up there. I was up there for homecoming last year because I was up there for baseball, and Hilton and Christian played there, so I went over there. It was a different kind of place. It was pretty intense. But yeah, the other one I'd shout out is Jake Sheehan. He's a good football player. He's got a chance to be a college football player if the fit's right at the right level. But they've got some. The guys they have are good football players. Dustin Etheridge has done a great job of developing what he has. He just doesn't have enough. But we got a whole day to talk about football tomorrow. So let's call it a night and get some sleep, get some rest for the big Friday tomorrow. Yes, but before we do that, let's shout out the Loco Booster Club. Thanks for reminding me, Wes. We got Prime IV Hydration and Wellness over in Belfair Town Village. Go see my guy Max and get juiced up with your IV drip with all your vitamins and minerals. You'll sit in the massage chair and you'll feel great afterwards. And if you need some mechanical adjustment as well, go to Rooted Living Wellness over in Sheridan Park. See my guy Ambrose. He's a Mizzou grad like myself, so you can trust him. He does a great job. I went and saw him last week. I'm feeling much better. I'm going to try to go see him again real soon to make sure I keep feeling good. And he'll also, gently shame you very, very gently about your poor exercise habits and things like that. He won't really shame you. He'll just ask you questions and then look at you like a disappointed father when you answer him, which is nice. Some of us need that. But he's a great dude. He'll take care of you. Great environment at Rooted Living. Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry. Chris Odom, he's going to be starting to tell me about all the new horror movies real soon because it's Halloween season. But if you had some kind of horror scene in your kitchen or whatever on your couch, he can get it clean for you. He'll clean all those floors, wood, tile, vinyl, all that, carpet and upholstery. I mean, he can get it clean. He'll get your nasty shower clean, and he'll get your floors so clean your feet will thank you. Barefoot Floor Care of the Lowcountry. We got Eagle Creations, one of the best kept secrets around here. If you need promotional items, business cards, awards, trophies, apparel, they got all kinds of stuff. Go over to their showroom on Argent Boulevard and just look around and say hi to Mandy and tell her Loco sent you, and see if there's something you can use over there, because I bet there's something that will help your business or your team or organization at Eagle Creations. And finally, we have the Court Lifestyle Pros, Lowcountry natives selling the Loco lifestyle on HHI. So go check out Daniel and Debbie on social media, see how much fun they're having. And if you want that lifestyle for yourself, give them a call and come be part of the Loco with us. It's good times down here. We take things a little less seriously and just chill out and enjoy life. So great show tonight, Wes. Enjoyed it as always, man. Enjoyed talking with Coach Hanna. And then Royana Hayes was a riot, as I expected. She was a good time. And always a fun time to talk sports with you, buddy.
Big one tomorrow. Get right back at it. We got the pair of shows that we do on Fridays. We get the 12:30 afternoon special, getting you ready for kickoff, and then we'll recap it all around 11:30 Friday night with Loco Pigskin Live. So it's a busy night from top to bottom as we get ready for week 5 of high school football.
I'll literally be driving to Orlando between shows, so that'll be good times. That'll be fun. I'm hoping to get settled at the hotel, not long after kickoff, so I can set up the command center, make sure we're ready to go for Loco Pigskin Live. So, if we have technical difficulties, so be it. We ran one from a hotel last year, and we got through it. So we'll try it again, man. I don't have to cover a game this time and drive back from PD, so should be good. All right. Thanks so much to our guests tonight, Rob Hanna and Royana Hayes. Thanks so much to all of our sponsors who make this possible. And most of all, thanks to you for showing up to listen or watch. We'll see you tomorrow, Loco Game Day Live, 12:30 p.m., getting you ready for kickoff, and then Loco Pigskin Live, rounding it all up at 11:30 p.m., taking you through past midnight into the wee hours to get you all up to date on what happened on the Loco high school football scene. So that does it for this one. For Wes Kerr, I am Justin Jarrett. Until next time, go Loco.
The Loco Sports Lowdown podcast is a production of Loco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LowcoSports to keep us going and growing. Go Loco!